Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the Black Paper Moon rulebook. This is the early access version. If you haven't seen part 1 of my review featuring this rules light role-playing game of dark themes, mystical powers, and whimsical tropes, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about challenges, adventuring, combat, and campaigns. But before that, I would like to talk about this channel's sponsor, Heroes and Hardships. This is a universal RPG system, allowing you to play any sort of campaign, adventure, scenario. You can create any sort of character imaginable. You have hundreds of tools to accomplish that. I'm going to put a few links in the description that will take you to the Kickstarter that is ongoing and it is currently in the stretch goals. You will also find links to the Discord, to the website, to the Tetsubo section of the website. Tetsubo is an upcoming setting inspired by Japan's Sengoku era. You are also going to find links to my review of the core rulebook in its early access version, my review of the Quickstart guide and the Wallace campaign setting based on the life and exploits of William Wallace. So please check it out. Now let's continue. Before we continue, I really want to point out that this is the early access version. There is a memories feature that has not yet been included, and it puts a heavy emphasis or focus on the background of your character. You can develop your character's history throughout the course of different adventures, revealing things about that character's background and answering questions related to the mysteries of that character's personal history. So that sounds pretty interesting. And because this is an early access version, that means that the errors that I have spotted and the pixelated effect or blurriness when you zoom in too much when it comes to the art, all of those things are going to be corrected in the finalized version. Now let's talk about challenges. Throughout your adventures, you will encounter challenges. They can be anything from a barbed linked fence intercepting your path to a ghoulish fiend trying to attack or possess you. When a challenge arises, you'll be asked to roll dice to see if you succeed or fail. When rolling for a challenge, you roll 1d6 or 2d6 or 2 six-sided dice. If your character has a weapon, power, or specific reason that you can elaborate on as to why you'd have an easier time besting the challenge. Once the roll is made, it's compared to the enemy's roll or a difficulty level determined by the World Master. If you meet or succeed the requirement of the challenge, then you don't have to add a die to the tower. Non-player characters that are a part of your party will need to add a die to the die tower if they don't have health as enemies do, and they fail a challenge. You have different difficulty levels. Perhaps the challenge is average, so that would be 4. Maybe it's tough, that would be 8. Or maybe it's epic, maybe you need to roll 20 or above. Now when it comes to adventuring, you have quests, which refer to missions or tasks given by hunter guilds. Tasks are ranked based on the amount of stars they have between 1 to 5, with 5 stars being the highest and the most dangerous. For example, a 5-star quest could be related to saving the world, but a 3-star quest could be related to saving a village. Typically, the die tower will remain for the entirety of a quest, unless several days pass with adequate rest and healing. When it comes to equipment, this is basically any type of gear used by units. Player characters by default will have all equipment and gear necessary to use whatever their desired weapon is. A player character can have gear at any time, whenever they can reasonably advocate to the World Master that such a thing is possible. That is, a character with a backpack may be able to carry some extra gear with them, but it wouldn't allow them to carry an additional 6 miniguns. When it comes to rank and reputation, this is how others perceive you. As a hunter by default, you are seen as an adventurer and hero, a slayer of darkness. As you complete quests and save the day, you'll go from people looking to give you advice and thinking you're just a kid, to admiring and respecting you. In Black Paper Moon, your reputation directly corresponds to your opportunities and wealth, which is shared among your group. The more you have individually, the more you have together. Non-player characters that may have once turned you down now may warm up to you because you have a high reputation. Concerning wealth, this is measured by the amount of money you've inherited and also earned from your adventures. The more amazing quests you complete, the higher status you command, and thus the more your wealth grows. Now let's talk about combat. This is actually quite simple. When it comes to non-player character unit stats, you have health. This is whenever this unit fails a combat challenge, they lose 1 health. If a unit has 0 health, they are considered dead. You have attack, which adds to your roll when attacking. You have defense, which adds to your roll when attacked. You have powers, abilities that your unit has to be employed at specific moments. And you have weaknesses, which is anything the unit is weak towards. Whenever a unit attacks, you roll 1 6-sided die or 2 6-sided dice if it's a player using their preferred weapon or a power they have control over. If the unit's total attack roll is higher than the defending unit's defense roll, then 1 damage is dealt to the defending unit. 2 damage is dealt instead if the defending unit's weakness was exploited, for example using a silver bullet against a werewolf. When it comes to defending and defense rolls, when a unit is attacked, it rolls 1d6, unless a player's preferred weapon is some sort of shield or has a defensive-based power, in which case they roll 2d6 when defending. This should generally be an exception and not the rule, reserved only for Guardian-type characters. If a unit makes a defense roll and it's higher than the attacker's roll, then the defender takes no damage. When it comes to movement, this is more narrative-based and in general doesn't require a grid, unless players wish to use one, mostly to convey a general physical sense to where their characters are standing, relative to other objects. Concerning ranges, you have short, medium, long, and distant. So depending on the distance, some weapons may not be very efficient, and you will take more time to reach certain characters that are too far away. Concerning the flow of combat, combat is intended to be quick, chaotic, and ever-changing. Players are encouraged to think of unique, on-the-fly ways to use their abilities and surroundings to give them an edge in combat. To this notion, the World Master may grant a bonus depending on the scenario. Ultimately, the bonuses are more of a guide and a tool, with no hard rule. Play things fast and loose, it's more fun that way. So perhaps you get a small bonus for a minor advantage, or maybe a more significant bonus for big advantages or when exploiting weaknesses. That's how you can obtain some very epic or perhaps near impossible results because of these bonuses. When it comes to initiative, this is the order a battle takes place. The player character who has last successfully placed a die on the die tower will get to go first in an encounter, and then play proceeds clockwise from them. Alternatively, the World Master may decide who begins the encounter based on the narrative. Enemies will normally start if they get the jump on the player characters, such as a player character falling for a mimic trap. When it comes to campaigns, generally, Black Paper Moon is built for simple, quick, one-shot experiences, where players create characters quickly and play a one-time story and watch it unfold. However, this doesn't have to be the case, especially when it comes to the memories feature that I mentioned. Players can revisit characters and proceed to level up their characters to their heart's content, or something tragic befalls their character. So in this case, you have guidelines in this rulebook telling you how to present adequate challenges for the player characters. Concerning leveling, this happens when a player character has a transformative experience, whether it be a revelation and change in their beliefs, confronting their hated parent and working to resolve their issues, forming a strong relationship with someone, or performing an incredibly extraordinary feat. This decision is ultimately the World Master's. But the World Master should consider all players involved and expectations when deciding if a character has leveled up. Leveling can come at any point in the story, creating very exciting moments. When a character levels up, they are able to knock over the die tower without suffering consequences, benefiting the character and group in many ways. If that character has serious wounds that would affect them, they are able to temporarily push through the pain and act as if it weren't a hindrance until the encounter is over. The die tower being reset means that a new one will be formed, making it easier to avoid the consequence of it falling sooner. In addition to this, a character that levels up gains the following benefits: the ability to have an additional wish. Depending on what leveled up the character, a new ability specifically tied to the phenomenal event will be gained as a new power or an extension of an old one. You also have information on Umbra Wood Academy, one of several hunter academies dedicated to training hunters, specially trained monster hunters that is. Umbra Wood Academy is the most prestigious and well recognized, only having the most capable of students join. Umbra Wood Academy arranges their students into teams of 4 during their 4th year. Yes, this definitely sounds a bit like a Ruby situation. The team configuration involves a myriad of factors, including their teamwork, personalities, and skill set. At a Hunter Academy, students are expected to take core classes such as math, science, history, literature, and physical education, in addition to more hunter-specific courses. A story told in Black Paper Moon can be told from the perspective of a fresh-faced student, a recent graduate, or a fully fledged hunter. In the next part, we are going to talk about character creation, the monsters that you will hunt, the included scenario, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this early access version. So as you can see, fun and storytelling are given priority in this role-playing game. Combat and adventuring are handled in a very free-form way, and because of the die tower mechanic, gameplay also requires a certain real-life dexterity. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.